Hey everyone, we've got a new Player of the Week selection on eFootball. As always, I'll put timestamps in the description, so if there's a particular player you want to hear about, click the description and there'll be a link to take you straight to them. We've got a whole bunch of new packs today from some Asian nations as well, including 3 free legendary players that they've given us from some of those Asian nations, so I'll be doing at least one video reviewing those, so keep your eyes out for that. And in this pack, we also have some booster cards, so let's have a look at who we've got. There are 3 boosters in here. I'll go through all the players, starting with the lowest rated. So we got Bardakcı. I probably got that wrong. Yeah, so 4-star centre-back. This is our only 4-star card in this Player of the Week selection. Defensively, got some strong attributes. Defensive engagement's a bit low, though. That's a bit of a concern. And over on the right, physically very strong. Jumping is not great, but he's 6'3". He does have aerial superiority, so he should be okay in the air. But he is so slow. 59 speed, 64 acceleration. This guy can barely move. That's a big concern. The engagement's a bit of a concern. We look at his skills. So he's got heading and aerial superiority. So he should be okay in the air. That jumping will hold him back a bit, but he's tall and these skills will compensate. So on the whole, he'll be okay in the air. They've given him acrobatic finishing first time shot. Fantastic. Weighted pass is a nice bonus for a centre-back. The important ones, man marking, blocker. Okay, where's interception? Would be nice if he had acrobatic clearance as well, but interception is absolutely crucial. So, to be completely frank, the lack of interception, the engagement being a bit low, the fact that he can barely move, that kills it for me. He's also pretty horrible on the ball, so yeah, some glaring weaknesses there, which is why he's a 4-star card and not a 5-star. He does have some strengths there, but for me, the weaknesses kill it, so it's not a great card. Then we have, going from a player who can barely move to a player who can certainly move, Marcus Edwards. So he's got very good pace, balance, great on the ball, that dribbling 94, good attacking awareness for a guy who's either an attack midfielder or a wide man. I don't think you're going to want to play him as an attack midfielder because low pass 72 is poor. He can't pass the ball well enough. Lofted pass 76, finishing 75, a bit better there, but still not brilliant. So be careful with the end product. Don't ask too much of him. Does have great curl though. Looking at the skill set, he's got a bunch of dribbly stuff. For a guy with that low centre of gravity who's got that much pace, balance, and who's that good on the ball, I think the dribblers will love this guy. He's going to feel really fun to use. He's got soul control as well, which is nice. First time shot, pinpoint crossing, those are the 2 they've added, I think. They are good ones to have. Outside curl is a nice one as well there, but adding those 2 I think is important. It's a shame they've not added anything to compensate for his passing being poor. One-touch passing, through passing would have been nice, but even then with 72 low pass, I don't think I'll be playing him attack midfield. I think this guy's best on the right with the pace and the dribbling. First time shot is a nice one when he comes inside from the right flank, getting in a good position to get a shot away. He's a creative playmaker though, so he's not going to be too attacking, with it, too aggressive with his forward runs, which could be frustrating for some people. That is an active play style as a wide forward, so keep that in mind. I personally find if I play someone either wide midfield or as a wide forward and they've got that creative playmaker playing style, they want to kind of hang back a bit sometimes and get into positions to play make and play passes forward, whereas I like my wide men to be getting into good attacking positions so I can play the pass to them. So it's a playing style that is active out wide, and you might find that frustrating, but like I say, the strength this guy has, the pace, the balance, being great on the ball. I think the dribblers you like kind of technically good wide and pacey wide men, I think it could be a lot of fun. It could be a really nice one. So yeah, could be fun to use. Bit of a question mark over his end product, but yeah, in the right hands could be a really nice card this. Then we have our first Player of the Week booster, Iván Martín from Girona in Spain. So we've got a whole player, and he's technically very good. The booster, it's the same booster on all these cards. It's based on their live update. So if they get A for their live update, they get a maximum boost. If it's B, they get a bit less than that. It doesn't tell us exactly what the boost is for B, but if you press R1, that's on PlayStation obviously, you see there a bunch of his attributes get boosted, and they get boosted by 3. So if that's the maximum boost when he's got A, and he gets 3, that means that when he gets B form, he's going to get a boost of either 1 or 2. It doesn't tell us whether it's 1 or 2. We just have to wait and see, but that's the maximum boost if he gets A for his live update. So you get an increase of 3 on ball control, dribbling, tight possession, and low pass. So his best attributes really get even better. And to be honest, he is great technically. down the left AC, and the attacking awareness as well. He's a whole player, so attacking awareness being over 80 goes well with his whole player playing style. Technically supreme. Finishing isn't too bad as well. Down the right though, as you see, he's not slow, but he's not particularly quick either, so he's a bit lacking in pace. Not the strongest physically, his balance isn't great, so athletically he's a little bit lacking down here. Stamina 83 as well. Not terrible stamina, but he's a whole player. That playstyle is active in all three of his positions: centre mid, attacking mid, right mid. And as you'll see here with his skills, he's got track back. So for a whole player with track back, he's going to be bombing up and down the pitch. He's going to be doing a lot of running. 83 stamina, he's going to get tired. So that's something to keep in mind. I'm not sure what skills he normally has. They might have added all of these. I'm just looking on the eFootball Hub. In fact, he's normally got pinpoint crossing, so yeah, it's not a great selection of skills. Pinpoint crossing is nice, but he's left-footed, so he's going to be cutting inside and hitting in swinging crosses. Outside of that, it's an interesting one because in terms of his attributes, he's got great end product. He's got really good passing. He's really good on the ball. Finishing not too bad, but he doesn't have the skills to back them up, which is it's a bit of a shame. But it doesn't mean by any means that he's going to struggle with his passing or shooting. It's a shame he doesn't have those skills to really kind of make the most of these attributes. But yeah, as a whole player, as I mentioned, it's active in all three of his positions. I wouldn't personally play him centre mid because he's not defensively strong or physically strong. Attacking midfielder as a whole player though, that probably is his best position because with the lack of pace, I don't think he'd be too effective out wide. You could get away with it if you don't mind your wide players having not having too much pace, but certainly as an attacking midfielder, if you don't mind the fact he's not the quickest, he's not the strongest, and not great balance, technically he's brilliant in those positions. I think he could be a very effective card. It's a shame he doesn't have the skills to back up his attributes, but certainly with the boost especially, technically this guy's fantastic. So he could be a very tidy attack midfielder to pick up. And then we have our goalkeeper, Milinković-Savić. So I got the previous player of the week version of this guy. This one's better. First thing to note with this guy, he's huge. He's about 17 feet tall. Looking at the attributes, his awareness isn't great at 82. That's a bit of a weakness at 82, so that's a bit of a shame. But the catching and parrying are okay. Reflexes are decent at 86. Reach of 87 for a guy as tall as him. He's going to have fantastic coverage of his goal, which is very important. It's worth noting that the height of a player does get factored into his overall rating. So that's been kind of proven. Someone kind of did some kind of spreadsheet on Reddit a while back. So if Konami factor a player's height into his overall rating, and it's a bigger factor for goalkeepers than I think any other position, that shows us that it affects their ability. And with a goalkeeper, that's an obvious one because obviously a bigger goalkeeper has got more coverage of his goal. But if a guy is this tall, he's already going to have great coverage of his goal, and that reach 87, I think that's pretty key. So I think even with the awareness being a little bit on the low side, he could be a pretty effective keeper. The jumping, as we know, if a goalkeeper is one of the best performing goalkeepers in the entire continent in any given week, we know they can't jump. That's Konami logic. But yeah, I think for me personally, the awareness is the only slight weakness there, and it is a weakness, let's be honest. But outside of that, with his height and the other attributes, and especially the reach, I think he could be pretty effective. And also worth noting, he has an excellent beard. He's quite the Viking. So yeah, bit of a weakness with the awareness, but outside of that, I think he might be a bit more effective than some people realise. If I pick him up, I'm definitely going to give him a go. So not a brilliant keeper, but certainly could be a pretty decent one. Then we have Frattesi from Inter. So whole player, centre midfield is the only position he's got. Honestly, he's a tidy player, but he's just not a brilliant one for me. The pace is pretty average. Everything's pretty average down here. The physical contact, the balance, kind of okay, but not brilliant. Stamina's all right. Defensively, he's just about passable, but he's not brilliant. Very good ball control, very good low pass, but everything else down here, again, is pretty average. Nothing particularly great down here. So he looks pretty tidy technically. Looking at the skills, I think they've only added super sub. He came on and scored. He's got first time shot on one touch pass for end product. Good skills to have. First time shot for a whole player because he will get into good attacking positions at times. Although he can't play attacking mids, he's only a centre mid. Still a nice skill to have. One touch pass is a very good one to have for a midfielder. He doesn't have through passing now. That's a bit of a miss. And then defensively, his attributes defensively aren't great, and there's no interception there. So he's a little bit lacking. He's kind of got the basics, and he's tidy, but I'm just not particularly excited about this guy. Track back as well. Again, we've got a whole player with track back. He's going to be bowling up and down the pitch and getting tired. He does have decent stamina though, and he does have fighting spirit. So I think the stamina will be okay. But yeah, it could be a tidy one to bring on as a super sub. But if I'm honest, good control and low pass. But outside of that, there's nothing particularly exciting about him. He's a tidy player, but not a particularly great one. Then we have Matheus Cunha. So this one's interesting because he's normally a deep line forward. They made him a whole player. In my personal opinion, that's a big upgrade just from the play style, because I don't like deep line forward as a play style for my centre forwards or SSs. Whole player will mean that he makes more aggressive runs forward. He'll be running into spaces, getting behind defenders. So big upgrade on the play style, in my opinion. In terms of the skills, we'll start with the skills. What they've given him is soul control and I think pinpoint crossing. Just to go back briefly to his attributes there, lofted pass 68. You can forget about pinpoint crossing. He can't cross. That's just going to make his crossing marginally less terrible. But soul control is a very nice one to add. He's got long range curler, long range shooting, and first time shot. Those are good ones to have for a forward in any of his positions. And through passing is nice as well. It's a shame he doesn't have one touch pass, but I guess you can't have it all. But through passing is a nice one though. And like I say, he's got those shooting skills. And finishing 80, curl 77. Long range curler will be decent, so you could play him on the left, have him cutting inside onto his right foot. Got decent long range curler on him. Low pass of 80 is alright with through passing skill as well. So he's not got brilliant passing, but his passing is decent for a forward. On the ball, pretty tidy. Attacking awareness is decent. I think you look at the positions he's got. Attacking awareness 83, finishing 80. Not good enough to be a striker in my opinion. If his crossing is not going to be great, even with the pinpoint crossing score, I wouldn't play him wide on the right, putting crosses in. Does he have outside curler? He doesn't have outside curler. Yeah, I don't think you're going to want him on the right-hand side, to be honest. But wide left, like I say, with his long range curler, a decent amount of pace and good on the ball. He could be effective playing wide left, but as an SS, I think as well, being tidy on the ball, with that through passing and 80 low pass, the ability to finish with the shooting skills he's got and decent pace, yeah. He's a tidy one. I think he could be an interesting one. Not an outstanding card, but he's got some end product. He's technically tidy. He's got a bit of pace. That whole player playing style, wide left or SS. Yeah, not a kind of top tier card by any means, but it could be an interesting one. And certainly if you've got another version of him as a deep line forward, I think just for the play style alone, this is a big upgrade. So pretty tidy card that. Then we have our second booster. So we've got Ünder from Fenerbahce. He was at Marseille recently. He's at Fenerbahce now. He scored 4 goals at the weekend, so no surprises in player of the week. And let's check out his booster. We have got a boost to his ball control, finishing, kicking power, and physical contact. And again, it goes up by 3. So an increase of 3 if he's got A form, and B we're given 1 or 2. Like I say, we don't know yet. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, with Ünder, first thing to say, low pass 75, not good enough to play attacking midfield. It would need to be well into the 80s. I think 80, maybe early 80s minimum to play someone attacking midfield, in my opinion. But he's a roaming flank. He can play down the right or down the left. It's got great pace. That kicking power is nice. Balance could be better. Will hit 80 with a good game plan boost. Stamina 73. Keep an eye on that. He will get tired if you start him. Down the left, the attacking awareness is all right, not brilliant, but for a wide man, I think that's okay. He's going to be very good on the ball. That dribbling will hit 90 with a good game plan boost. As I say, low pass isn't brilliant, but if you're playing him out wide, I think you can get away with that. Lofted pass 84. We'll come to his skills in a second. Finishing 80, curl 81. So remember those 3. Lofted pass 84, finishing 80, curl 81. That's with the boost, bear in mind. We go to his skills. Long range curler, long range shooting, first time shot. So he's definitely able to finish. And he's got through passing and he's got pinpoint crossing. So the through passing will compensate for his low pass being a bit on the low side. Pinpoint crossing with 84 lofted pass. He's going to have a good cross on him. So you could play him on the left, whipping good crosses in. You can play him on the right and cut inside and have a very decent shot on him. I think this is a very good card, to be honest. Just one thing to bear in mind again, track back, 73 stamina. He's going to get tired. Track back they've added to him. The other ones they've added, I think, through passing, which is a good one to add. Just, like I say, compensates for his low pass not being great. And they've also added knuckle shot, which might be a cup of tea. I don't know. It's not mine. But yeah, he's got the shooting. He's got the crossing. I think on either flank, this is a very tidy card. He's got great pace, obviously. That stands out. But he's pretty good on the ball. And he's got that end product. So yeah. And he's got that booster, which is nice. But ultimately, I think he's a tidy little winger playing on either right or left flank. Roaming flank, he'll drift inside, take up some interesting positions. And as a winger with that versatility to play on either flank, keep in mind the stamina's a bit low. That's the concern. He might be one you want to use as a substitute, but yeah, either way, when you do use him, I think he's very tidy. This is a nice little card, and I'd be quite pleased to pick this one up. Next up, speaking of nice cards, Diaby from Villa. This is a nice card. So, Diaby is normally a roaming flank, but they've made him a hole player. We've got another hole player. He can play wide left, wide right, attacking mid, SS. Hole player will be active at right midfield, left midfield, AMF or SS. As a wide forward, it won't be active, but it will probably still play in quite a similar way, making kind of quite aggressive movements forward. He's got pretty good attacking awareness, goes well with the hole player playing style, great on the ball. His passing decent. I think that's probably the best I've seen is the passing on a Diaby card personally. I'm not certain on that, but I'm pretty sure that's the best his passing's been. So he's got some end product there in terms of creating goals. Finishing 75 is not brilliant, but it's passable. Great pace, fantastic balance. Pretty good kicking power there as well. Stamina's not the best. He'll get tired, especially as a hole player. Hole players do a lot of running. But yeah, anyone who likes players who, for dribbling and skill moves, this guy's going to feel really nice on the ball. I've had a version of him previously that was very nice on the ball. That pace, the balance, the dribbling. Really nice. Have a look at his skills here. They've given him first time shot and one touch pass. Two really nice additions for Diaby. They're going to help even more with his end product, so that's great. He's already got long range curler, long range shooting. So cutting in from the right hand side, hitting shots, acrobatic finishing as well. Like I say, with the dribble, he's got a few dribbly things there. Soul control is nice, but yeah, wide right, cutting onto his left foot, he can shoot. Wide left, I don't think his crossing is going to be great. 78 lofted pass, he doesn't have pinpoint crossing. It's not going to be terrible, so don't ask too much from him with his crossing. It might be okay, but I don't think I would want to play him on the left necessarily. I think the best way to use this guy would be through the middle or wide right. He can certainly take chances, and now that he's got one touch pass, he doesn't have through passing, a bit of a shame, but they have upgraded him by giving him one touch pass, and I think they have boosted his low pass a bit. Like I say, I'm pretty sure about that. So he's got a bit of passing ability as well as his shooting ability, playing through the middle and wide right. But I think it's obvious where his strength lies. It's what he's going to be like on the ball. The pace, the balance, the dribbling. He's going to be really neat for dribbling. Whole player playing style as well is a very nice change to his play style in my opinion. So yeah, I think this guy could be really fun to use. A bit more end product than he has on the other versions of him, I think. So yeah, I think this is one of the best cards in the pack. Could be a really, really fun card to pick up. Then we have our final booster in Player of the Week, and it is Mo Salah. So as always, they include a player who's scored and played well against Newcastle. Thanks, Konami. We'll show you the booster effect. So, kicking power, low pass, lofted pass, curl. It's the passing that's key on this version of Salah. He doesn't normally have great passing. I'm going to quickly show you his skills first, because what they've given him one touch pass and through passing. I think first time shot has been added as well, but one touch pass and through passing, as well as his passing being, I think, better than pretty much any version I've seen of Salah. I might be wrong on that, but it's certainly, he doesn't always have passing that good, but to give him nice enough passing and one touch pass and through passing, I think it's quite key. First time shot as well is a nice one. Obviously he's got long range shooting, long range curler. It's you look at the attributes, it's kind of pretty much just another Salah really. There's nothing that amazing about it. He's always quick, he's always good on the ball. The awareness is obviously very good, finishing's decent. That passing note, the thing is with this Salah, the other thing that's I think significant about this version of him, he's a creative playmaker. And as we saw with forget who it was, we looked at another card in this pack as a creative playmaker. As a wide forward, is Marcus Edwards, that was who it was. So as a wide forward, with the creative playmaker playing style, it just might not be the playing style for you. With a roaming flank, he'll be drifting inside, pick up nice positions, prolific winger, bit more direct, but likewise getting into good attacking positions. But I find with the creative playmaker out wide, that play style is active as a wide forward or a wide midfielder. They sometimes just want to hang back and just be given the ball so that they can be the one to play a ball forward, whereas I personally want them to get forward and be in a position for me to play a pass forward to them. So their movement isn't quite as aggressive as a creative playmaker out wide, and that's something I personally find frustrating. But with the fact they're giving some decent passing for a wide man and one touch passing through passing with the creative playmaker play style, all around, this is very much a playmaker version of Salah. So if you like that, if you like the idea of having a Salah who's going to kind of drop back a bit and get into positions to play make outside the box and stuff, I think it could be a fantastic version of Salah to pick up. But it's just something to keep in mind, because that might not necessarily be the way that you want to use Salah. So depending on how you want to use Salah, could be a great version of him, but it might be a frustrating one as well. But objectively, it's a very good one, and I think the fact he's a playmaker with the passing, it's certainly a slightly different version of Salah to what we've had before. And then we have Rodri from Man City, and it's very much just another Rodri, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, because he's a really, really good anchorman. What it comes down to with Rodri, it's whether you like your defensive midfielders to be mobile, to have a bit of pace and mobility about them. If that's the way you like your defensive midfielders, you might find it frustrating, because he's slow, he's not got great balance, he's not the most mobile, he's not the most manoeuvrable, but outside of that, he's great. He's strong, good stamina, defensively good, technically excellent. We look at the skills, I don't think they've changed much. I think it's just long range shooting they've added, but soul control is nice on a big guy like him. One touch pass, through passing, weighted pass, he's going to have great passing, man marking, interception, aerial superiority. It's just another version of Rodri, really, and it's a good one. But like I say, all it comes down to is the pace and mobility. If those are a concern for you, it might be a frustrating card for you. But if you don't mind that on a defensive midfielder, you just want your defensive midfielder to be big, tall, strong, imposing, and just protect your defense, it's fantastic. It's a very good card. And finally, we've got Theo Hernández, and we have a centre-back extra frontman version. He's been playing at centre-back for Milan. They've had a bit of an injury crisis at centre-back. This is an interesting one. So, right off the bat, are you going to play him as a centre-back? Defensive engagement 76, jump 72? No. I think you're taking a big risk. If your opponent's strikers are just tiny, quick guys, then maybe. But even then, the engagement is a concern. I think whatever kind of strikers your opponent's got, I think he's weak as a centre-back. But he can still play as a left-back, and I think that, for me, is where this guy is going to be used if you're going to get the most out of him. But if you do play him at left-back, what it comes down to is, do you want him to be an attacking left-back, which he normally is, or do you want him to be a defensive left-back? Because if you look down the left-hand side, he's not great on the ball. He normally is decent on the ball. I've got a version of him. I got the free version most recently. It's much better on the ball than this, but he's not brilliant on the ball. Defensively, as I say, engagement could be better, but it's not disastrously bad. The rest are all 80 plus, so on the whole, he's pretty decent defensively. Pace is fantastic. He's rapid, and he's got very good physical contact for a fullback, 84. Stamina 88 is good as well. When we look at the skills, they've given him interception and blocker, two really good additions for a defender, especially for a fullback. Interception and blocker. Fighting spirit is a nice one. A load of attacking stuff there, but like I say, he's not great on the ball. But what it comes down to, as I mentioned, I think what it comes down to is that some of us like attacking fullbacks, and that's what I like. I like an attacking fullback who's going to get forward, he's going to overlap my winger, get crosses in. I don't think this guy's technically good enough for that. But there are a lot of us in the player base who like defensive fullbacks, and if you're one of these guys who likes defensive fullbacks, these guys don't tend to be as bothered about their attributes down the left-hand side, being as good on the ball, as good at passing. So if that's the case, and if that is okay for you down the left as a defensive fullback, I think especially if you put the defensive instruction on him to make him play like a defensive fullback, because he won't have a player style active as left-back, and he might find without an instruction on him, he does get forward quite a bit. If you don't want that, and if you want him to just defend, if you put defensive on him with the pace, the physical contact, the defensive attributes, the stamina, the fact they've given him interception and blocker, I think he could be a fantastic defensive left-back. Like I say, I don't like defensive fullbacks personally, but if you're one of these guys that does, I'll be interested to know if you think this guy would be a good defensive left-back. So let me know what you do think, because personally, when I look at this guy, I look at him as a left-back, and I think put defensive instruction on him, use him as a defensive fullback, he could be fantastic. So on that basis, if you use him that way, I think this could be a really, really good card. So that's the selection of the players you can spin. I'm going to just have a quick look at the free one we've got, because they've given us some free players today. And the free player of the week player they've given us is Antonio Rüdiger. So I'll have a quick look at this guy, because he's also got the booster. I'll activate the booster. There we go. So with the booster activated, gives us a boost to our jumping, physical contact, heading, and finishing. So our finishing gets boosted from 47 to 50. Amazing. That's going to make so much difference. Thanks, Konami. But more importantly, heading, jumping, physical contact. So physically and aerially, he's a beast. Defensively, he's good, he's strong, but defensive engagement is a bit low. That's a bit of a concern. For a 5-star centre-back, I want more than 81 for my defensive engagement. The pace is okay. Stamina is okay for a centre-back. Like I say, physical and aerial, good. Looking at the skills, heading and aerial superiority. So he's going to be a beast in the air, as we know. Man marking, interception, sliding tackle, acrobatic clearance. It would be nice if he had blocker. It's not crucial. It's a bit of a miss though, so it's a shame he's not got blocker and the engagement's a bit low. So there's a couple of slight concerns from me there, but outside of that, he is good defensively. The pace is okay. Physically and aerially very strong. For a freebie, you can't complain, can you? It's a good, solid centre-back. So yeah, thanks Konami. Not a bad card to get for free, and I think the selection that we can spin for is pretty decent this week. We've got some good players in there, so hopefully you found it useful. Like I say, keep your eyes out for a video looking at some of the Asian players that we've got, including the freebies. I'll put something out for that soon. So yeah, there you go. Hopefully you found it useful. Thank you for watching as always. I'll catch you soon.